We're looking at a rapidly developing and, honestly, incredibly complex situation out of Assam's Nalbari district. It's a tragic series of events that has completely gripped the local community, sparked statewide outrage, and, as you'll see, ended in a fatal police encounter. Today, we're going to use the verified reports from the ground to visually break down the anatomy of this case step by step. If you want to cut through the noise and grasp the actual sequence of these chaotic events, you're in the exact right place. Let's get into the explainer.
We're actually going to start right at the end here because the biggest headline is exactly where this story finishes. Breaking news. The main accused in this case, a man named Roz Ali, is dead. And he didn't just pass away. He died in police custody following a weapon recovery operation. I mean, that is a massive development, right? It completely shifts the entire trajectory of the justice process here. Within just days of the initial crime, the prime suspect is gone, totally eliminating the possibility of a trial. To understand how we actually got to this dramatic, fatal conclusion, well, we've got to rewind the clock.
Part 1. The tragic initial attack. Understanding the inciting incident at Gangapur.
So let's slow down for a second and look at the real human cost here. We're talking about two young cousins whose lives were just forever altered. On one side, we have Madhurjya Barman. He was just 19 years old and he tragically lost his life in this attack. On the other side, his unnamed female cousin, who is only 17, was left critically injured. They were literally just returning home when they were intercepted and attacked by Roz Ali. Behind all the flashing news headlines, there are two deeply impacted families. One young man is dead and a teenage girl is fighting for her life in a hospital bed.
And, Madhurjya wasn't just a victim on a page. He was a really active, engaged member of his community. He was actually associated with the Paschim Nalbari Regional Students Union and was remembered by local leaders as a promising young guy with this really bright future ahead of him. Meanwhile, his 17-year-old cousin sustained severe stab wounds. As of the absolute latest reports, she is still under intense medical care, with doctors monitoring her condition incredibly closely. This sudden loss of a young community leader, alongside the brutal injury of a teenager, well, it's exactly why this case exploded into the public consciousness so fast.
Moving on to Part 2, the weapon recovery operation, a procedural breakdown of the police encounter.
Okay, let's methodically walk through the official timeline provided by police sources. We need to see how a routine evidence-gathering mission escalated into a fatal shooting. Step 1. The police moved remarkably fast, picking up Roz Ali within hours of the stabbing. Step 2. Investigators escorted him out to a specific location to recover the weapon allegedly used in the crime. Now, Step 3. This is where the narrative shifts drastically. During this operation, while allegedly leading officers to the hidden weapon, police report that Roz Ali attempted to escape custody. And that leads us directly to Step 4. In response to this attempted flight, police personnel opened fire.
So, the crucial point we have to focus on here is the final, undeniable outcome of that chaotic sequence. The accused, Roz Ali, sustained gunshot wounds during this reported escape attempt. The authorities immediately rushed him to a nearby hospital for medical intervention, but he ultimately succumbed to his injuries. The man accused of tearing a family apart and ending a promising 19-year-old's life met his own end just hours later. It is a stark, incredibly abrupt conclusion to his involvement in this whole tragic saga.
Part 3. Outrage and ongoing investigation. Community fallout and political reactions. To really gauge the community and political response, we have to look to the local representative, Nalbari MLA Jayanta Malla Barua. He actually visited the hospital where the 17-year-old survivor is being treated, and thankfully, there's a glimmer of hope here amidst all the tragedy. He stated, "The injured girl has shown considerable improvement compared to yesterday. We are hopeful and praying for her recovery." He also noted that the necessary blood supplies required for her ongoing treatment have been successfully arranged. Honestly, it's a small but vital piece of positive news in an otherwise incredibly dark story.
However, during that exact same visit, the political rhetoric surrounding the case took a very distinct turn. MLA Barua expressed concern over what he described as a disturbing trend of alleged love jihad-related incidents. Now, it's absolutely crucial for us to highlight this framing neutrally. We are strictly observing how this case is being discussed by those in positions of authority. This is the specific language being utilized by a local political leader to place this isolated attack within a much broader, highly charged socio-political narrative that's currently active in the region.
But despite the death of the main accused and all the various political narratives swirling around the incident, the core procedural police work? Well, that has to continue. The Assam police have made their official stance crystal clear. This investigation remains entirely ongoing. Authorities are insisting that absolutely all aspects of the case, from the initial fatal stabbing of Madhurjya Barman to the exact circumstances of Roz Ali's attempted escape and subsequent death,
are being thoroughly and rigorously examined. The dust definitely hasn't settled yet, and law enforcement is still actively piecing together the complete, verified picture.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer today, leaving us with a critical, lingering question to think about. As the Assam police continue their intense scrutiny of these chaotic hours, what will the final report actually reveal about this tragic chain of events? Will it provide some much-needed closure to the grieving family of Madhurjya Barman? Will it clarify those incredibly tense moments of the police encounter that left the prime suspect dead? The initial headlines might be fading, but the search for absolute clarity in the Nalbari murder case is far from over. Thanks for joining me, keep questioning the facts, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.